recording. Man, you don't hear that very often now, do you, Craig? Especially these days. Yep. Welcome back, guys, gals, people of all ages, to the Believe Me If You Don't podcast, where we do episodes very frequently. Yeah, like probably the most consistent podcast you'll ever listen to, honestly. So that's what we got going for us, to be honest with you guys. I mean, being the most consistent is definitely going to be one of those things that'll get you high rankings of people listening to you and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, welcome back. I know it's been a while again, but we out here just going through life, things happening. So just wanted to do an episode today, whenever you listen to this once in a blue moon again episode. Wanted to talk about GamesCom 2024. Happened in Cologne, Germany. Actually happened a couple weeks ago at this point that you're listening to this. Just haven't had the real motivation to do an episode. And also, the child is going through a regression, so not a lot of energy has been able to be spent into an episode. So, we out here. Yeah. Just some notable things that have happened in the past few weeks. The child also became 1 year old. So congrats to him. And congrats to Jaden and I for keeping him alive, this long. And not killing each other in game. So we're just out here trying our best. So, yeah. Thank you for being patient with us. Another big thing that's happened. It's actually our 2-year anniversary for the podcast. It's awesome. Can't believe I and others obviously have been doing this podcast for 2 years. Obviously started it just to keep in touch with the online friends I create or found, several years back and stuff. As you can see, they're not here with me tonight, but they're all doing their own thing. And like I said from the very beginning, the point of this podcast was just to come on here, just to talk about the video games and stuff that we enjoy. And if they're able to join me, so be it. And if not, then they got to do their own thing. Everybody's doing their own thing. We can't do it like we, back in the day, no responsibilities. We just playing video games all the time. So, but it is all Gucci as far as I know. For Donkey, the new World of Warcraft expansion is launched, The War Within. Early access hit because all these companies are scammers and people benefited off of those if you want to pre-purchase it and stuff. And then they had the audacity to nerf it because it was just too OP. So good job, Blizzard, yet again, raking in that money. Good marketing strategy. I can't disagree with you there. However, it's just kind of shitty for y'all to do that. So, and another thing is, I guess they're not starting Mythic rating for 3 weeks into the expansion. I kind of like that idea, and I kind of don't. Being from a casual standpoint, 100% would like that. I know from Donkey's standpoint, he probably does not like that because he wants to get his stuff done week 1 and then be ready to raid the next week. So, but I kind of get what they're wanting to do, not having their content that they worked months on to be cleared within a week or two by the hardcore Mythic Raiders. So, but yeah, like I said, they nerfed the XP gain from leveling because this sounds like an expansion where it's really easy to level alts, and I do like it if I'm understanding it correctly. Every time you level an alt, or every time you level a character, there's an experience bonus gained for your next alt that you're trying to level. I'm not sure if there's a cap on it. Um, uh, Somebody, and it might have been Genji himself, leveled 13 or 17 characters in the 3-day early access. That's insane. I get it to try and be world first and stuff, but good lord. And yeah, I will be 100% honest too. I got an itch to try and maybe start back up with it, at least just to jump in. Um, However, when I heard that they nerfed the XP gain, I just thought that was a shitty thing. So I decided not to. I may, if there's ever a lull in gaming the next few months, for myself, I may jump back in just to see, these new hero talents, how the war bands and stuff work, because it sounds like they're really pushing for to be able to do a lot of content on your own, which once again from a casual standpoint, I think that is good and bad. So they got to cater to a lot of audiences. They should cater to the bigger audience, and the other ones should follow suit in a sense. So, but we'll see. I hope this expansion's good for Donkey, and you can find his love for it again, and not hate the game. So, um, I'm not sure what Jordan's up to. Probably Final Fantasy 14. I think the new expansion's out and stuff, so he's probably raiding. Um, Kiwi, I think the first Ascendant hype kind of died off. Their first season's out right now, and it's just a little bit changes. That the game has 100% potential, but I know being a live service game, it's going to take it, months to really get the good things established for it. So, but it has potential. I'll maybe go back to it. It was just a lot of grinding, a lot. If they can fix some of the grinding issues with certain classes, like you not needing a certain class to do it, then I can see it. It was absolutely fun, and the funny thing is, I put nearly 100 hours in on that game when it first came out. So I obviously liked it a lot. So, and then he and I actually started Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy origin story, and it, it's we haven't got too far into it just because, like I said, I'm the little man that's having a regression right now, so not being able to play a lot last 3-ish weeks. So hopefully I can get a few more nights in with him. It's not a long story, but I definitely want to get to the other DLCs that I couldn't get to myself. It's a fun game. It's very meme-y, but it's Final Fantasy and it's got a lot of jobs and stuff, and I think he's enjoying it for the most part. So I know he is definitely waiting for Warhammer to come out in the next couple weeks. Hopefully, him and Jordan can play. So, and then moving on last to Rack. Not sure. I think he's really focused on schoolwork right now. I think he's almost done with his degree right now. That's awesome for him. So, but as far as me, I'm like I said, kind of playing Stranger Paradise with Kiwi on and off. Still playing Call of Duty Warzone with Aaron over there whenever we can fit in, a few games. I think right now we're kind of just waiting on Black Ops 6 to come out. Like him and I did try out some of the beta this past weekend. I did try a little bit more too, and it's multiplayer, so I can only do so much of that. Obviously, it coming to Game Pass is huge, especially like for me, because I haven't bought a Call of Duty in several go rounds at this point because I don't see a point because I just play Warzone. But this is Treyarch. They make usually decent zombies. And they're going back to the roots of round-based zombies. So that's something we could do. So it being on Game Pass, I can actually play the multiplayer to a certain extent, level my guns, have them in Warzone, and just play that whenever it comes out, and whenever there's some good features coming to zombies. Um, and as you're listening to this episode too, after Gamescom, they had their yearly Call of Duty event called COD Next, and they showed off multiplayer, some Warzone, the new map. It's actually a resurgence map. It's really cool. It's called Area 99, I think, and it's the origin of Nuketown, which is kind of cool. I think a lot of people were bummed, especially the bigger content creators were bummed because it wasn't the big map. And they actually did reveal the next big map will be Verdansk. It's coming back late or early spring of next year. Obviously, people were hyped for it. I'm just, as am I, but I know it will, and everybody needs to set their expectations. It's not going to hit the exact same because when Verdansk came out, we were just living in a completely different world. It was the height of COVID. Everybody was in their home. Everybody was gaming. So it'll never hit like that. However, they can reap the benefits of nostalgia for people from 4 years ago, or almost five at that point. However, it'll just get caught in the same cycle of Call of Duty where if they don't update the map, then it'll just die off in a few months. People go away, and then COD Next comes. Next Call of Duty gets shown, hype, repeat. So, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of people are banking on this one because they've given Treyarch 4 years of development on this game, and that's the longest a Call of Duty game has ever been in development. So, you know, if they have some just major issues with launch, it's just, it's just bad. It's just a bad look for Activision and Microsoft at this point. So, but I look forward to it. So, but yeah, gonna talk about Gamescom. Try to run through it as quickly as possible because a lot of games were shown, and I will be honest, I think Gamescom was much better than Summer Games Fest that was shown. So, although a lot of people are kind of given the same realm, I don't see how. I'm reading off some of the games, if not all the games that were announced on Gamescom live opening night, essentially. A few more were shown the couple days after that, but I'm just going off of this one. I'm reading off of GameSpot, so I'll link that article if you want to look at it. I don't think they're in order, but we'll just go through from top to bottom. So the first one I'm seeing is something called Enzoi, which apparently is the killer to Sims. Um, you know, I played a lot of Sims early on, like early PlayStation 2. One of my favorite ones was Sims. What was it? It was like Sims Golf or something like that. It was fun, but I don't know if this will ever kill Sims just because it has such a um established community. I think Sims 5 did end up getting canceled, so we'll see how this one does. But overall, I feel like you can only play it so much because you get to a point where it feels like you're playing just your life. And why do I want to basically cook in game for myself, have to sleep in game, have to get up in game over and over and over? So, we'll see how long it lasts. Next up, we got Sniper Elite Resistance. I've never cared or tried for any of these games. I think it's the one where you basically are a sniper, obviously from the name, and you could slow down the bullets and you could see where the bullets hit the target and stuff. This one sounds like it's going to be World War II era. So I'm sure people out there want to be a sniper and all those things. That's cool. So to each his own. The next up, I do know this one was actually the first trailer to be shown. Well, it's not a trailer; it's like a teaser essentially. but Borderlands 4. Apparently, it's real and it's coming out next year. Um, the funny thing is, I know Jordan, Kiwi, and Donkey are all Borderlands fans. However, I don't think they were fans of Borderlands 3. So hopefully this one does a little bit better. And if anyone, and I haven't watched it myself, but just going off of reviews, if anyone's watched the Borderlands movie, apparently it is just one of the worst movies ever created. And it's very unfortunate for a franchise like this that they just, you know, didn't put any love into it. That's what I actually mentioned this to Rack the other day in Discord. I think it should be honestly a crime if someone has a renowned like book series and like they're very good, everybody loves them to most part. Obviously, you're gonna have people who hate one thing or that another, but majority of them that are great, and then somebody tries to create an adaptation to either a movie or TV series, aka like Game of Thrones. I don't understand. I mean, okay, sorry. There's certain parts I don't understand how you can't just literally read it, know the material, and then put it to the screen. Obviously, in a book, they take out as many pages as they want to and how many ever books they need to write an entire story. And with movies and TV shows, you're given a budget, and usually you have to limit the amount of episodes and stuff, so you kind of have to cram it. However, I don't think you should go so far off the path when the material is right there in front of you, and it should never be given to people who aren't willing to do the research and be strictly involved and who love the series. Like they're just there to essentially make it the best that they can. However, they aren't willing to go back and do the research and really dive into all the material. So obviously, if you've watched Game of Thrones, the first 5-ish, 6-ish seasons were pretty freaking amazing. Some of the best TV you ever watch. And 7 and 8 were just obviously, in the biggest one being the 8th season, was just horrible. And they didn't care. They just wanted to move on to their next. I think it was a Star Wars project that got canceled. So a big, finger to you guys for trying to rush off and ruin that. So, and now we have House of Dragon, and literally George R. R. Martin is going to create a blog post of how things that have gone wrong in the series, and it's just I don't understand how you have it right there, the materials right there for you, just copy it in some fashion. You don't have to go so far off the path. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Borderlands 4 coming next year. And like I said, I already talked about it kind of. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The Black Ops series is some of the Call of Duty fans is their favorite. So hopefully this one can get us back on track in a sense of people loving it. It comes out in October. And the beta is live right now. Next we got Goat Simulator Remastered. This one looks so stupid, but I'm sure there's an audience for this just to be funny. So, good luck to Goat Simulator. Persona 3 Reload Episode Aegis. Don't care. I don't even remotely care about Persona. I know Kiwi, I'm sure, does. I just would never even try to get into Persona. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's coming out in a month and a half or something. This game looks phenomenal. As much as I've loved the Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Z series, I've never played a single Dragon Ball game. But they look fantastic. So I know there's 100% an audience for that. So next we got Dying Light the Beast. I think it's just like it's not a DLC, it's like a whole new game to the Dying Light franchise, and it'll be in the same world, as far as I can tell. Um, I've never played the Dying Light series, but I've heard good things about them, so hopefully this does good. Next up, we got the Dark Pictures Anthology Directive 8020. It's a horror game that looks freaky as hell. That's all I can say. Um, I don't think there was a release date, so could be good. Could be interesting. Next up, we got Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I did not really understand this at all. I think they were something. There's 4 chicks, and there's something to do with music. I couldn't tell you. Next up, we got Infinity Nikki. Oh my! All I could say, open world dress up MMO. Good luck to those people who do that. Arc Raiders. I don't get any explanation of what this is, but we can maybe. What do we got? It is supposed to be a third-person PvP PvE action survival shooter. At this point, y'all need to stop. I think there's too many shooters happening right now, and obviously Concord is suffering, so maybe y'all should chill on these. As long as it's free to play, maybe. Oh, it is going to be free to play. That's good. That's a good aspect, but I highly doubt it lasts. And then next up, we got Path of Exile 2. There was some gameplay shown, and there will be early access starting November 15th. That's good. I know a lot of people are looking forward to Path of Exile 2. Hopefully, it can compete with stupid Diablo 4. Next up, we got King of Meat. This is supposed to be a competitor to Fall Guys. It is a hacking, slashing online co-op spectacle. I don't even know what that means, guys. And then next up, we got Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. This looks really cool. I don't know anything about. It's a brawler, but it definitely looks neat. Highly doubt I'll play it, but it looks neat. Next up, we got Mecha Break, another like Gundam kind of ripoff, essentially. Loved Gundam back in the day, just FYI. Next up, we got Reanimal now. This looked really interesting. It's the Little Nightmares developer. I've never played Little Nightmares at all, but this looks fun, hella fun. It might be a co-op. Yeah, so Reanimal is a spooky adventure with cinematic platforming, puzzles, and co-op gameplay. That could be fun. Maybe Donkey will play that with me when we played. What was that freaking game from last year? Take Two? No, not Take Two. Oh, God, what was it? I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember. It was such a great game. What was the name of that? I don't know. But yeah, it was awesome. Maybe you'll play with me. Next up, we got Dune Awakening. Some more gameplay was shown off. It's if you've watched obviously the original like Dune movie, and now we've have 2 Dune movies with Timothy Chalamet. I haven't got to watch the second one yet, but I've heard it's a spectacle. The first one was pretty freaking good, but I'm not sure how you're gonna have an MMO of this game. It just seems too vast and just not enough to do. Like you're looking for some spice. Like that's cool and all, but what are you gonna do? Next up, we did get a release date for Marvel Rivals. Essentially, it's a hero type shooter, kind of like Overwatch. They're trying to compete. They obviously have the establishment of Marvel characters and stuff. That's going to be really cool, but we'll see how that goes. Genshin Impact is coming to Xbox. Don't care. Moving on. Next up, we got Naraka Blade Point. Huh. Is this Paragon's best martial arts weapons, mystical fighting skills? There's only one we find out. As everyone's favorite Tomb Raider, Lara Croft is coming to Naraka Blade Point. What is Naraka Blade Point? Oh, I guess some type of game. It's battle royale, but Lara Croft is coming to it. Okay, okay. Um, Sid Meier's Sid Meier's Civilization 7 is coming February 11th next year. Kiwi tried to get me to play Civ 6, I think, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't really understand. Maybe that's what it is, that the reason I don't like Civilization games. But there's a huge audience for that. I'm an Age of Empires fan, so I never really got into this type of RTS. Um, Starfield did get an update. You get a rover, really cool, I guess. And then they talked about their DLC, Shattered Space, that's launching actually this month. So hopefully that helps out that game. Um, it's very unfortunate still launch with a lot of bugs and whatnot, but I know a lot of people actually do like it. Just, we'll see how well it does. Next up, we got Monument Valley 3. It is some type of architecture game. I don't know. You can get it on apparently Netflix. Huh. Interesting. Batman Arkham Shadow. It's a VR game. That could be really cool. You just be walking up people, justice. But, VR. So good luck. More Monster Hunter Wilds was shown off. This game looks phenomenal. I hope it does well. And I hope they continue to add quality of life things and take away maybe a little bit more of the grind for certain things. And this game could be even bigger than Monster Hunter World was. So I would love to play this if I can. Comes out next year. It just depends on if Kiwi and them are leaving me in the dust or not. So Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, that's the one Jordan and Kiwi are kind of waiting on. It looks fun. I know, yeah, like I said, they're looking forward to it. I'll tell a quick story. Back in the day when I was raiding in World of Warcraft in Burning Crusade, it was like tier 5 and Serpent Strike Caverns. I got in this one guild, and this the GM. So there was two guys. Both of them were warriors, if I remember correctly. One of them was Cordain, I think it was. No, maybe. I think it was Cordain. And then I can't remember the other orc warrior. He was Canadian. He was kind of a douche. But two things. We used DKP back then just to bid on stuff. And I had only been there a few weeks, so I built up DKP. And that orc warrior wanted something, but I had enough DKP to outbid him because I was playing Fury at that time. Hella fun, by the way. And the GM actually whispered me and said, outbid him. I was like, okay. So I outbid him, got the item, and the guy was pissed at me. So, but then the bigger story was we were super close to killing Vosh, and this man literally in the middle of the night G kicked everybody, took everything from the guild bank, and quit because he was going to play the next Warhammer game. And everybody, we logged on the next day and were guildless and was just like, what happened? And this man literally just G kicked everybody, to go play Warhammer. He was kind of a selfish bitch, honestly. That guild was just all over the place. Oh my gosh. Hella fun times, but to leave and go play Warhammer, sad. Next up was one of the biggest things and one of the best things I saw, Secret Level. It is a anthology series coming to Amazon on December 10th, and it focuses on stories centered around existing and new games. This is the same group that created Love, Death, and Robots, and I love that show. They're little short stories and just have no backstory or whatsoever. They're just fun and interesting. And to do this with the same studio and do it in video games, I think that they're going to kill it. Some of the titles that were teased were Armored Core, Ghost of Tsushima, and Mega Man, and Kratos from God of War was shown. Pac-Man's in here. I can't wait to watch this. It looks amazing. They do great work. Next up, we got Towerborn. It's a side-scrolling action game. I'm sure there's an audience for it. Next up, though, we got Age of Mythology Retold. Oh, like I guess talked about earlier with Civ and everything, stating I'm an Age of Empires fan. But to combine it with mythology, which I also really love, because playing God of War and stuff like that, the Greek and the Norse mythology. Age of Mythology was so dope back in the day, getting to play with certain gods and stuff, and now they're like essentially remaking it in a sense. It's gonna be awesome. I think it is out right now, like early access. Once again, but it's on Game Pass, so I 100% can't wait to dive into that. It's awesome. Next up, we got Masters of Albion. The Fable creator talked about he's secretly been working on a new God game for several years now. I don't think we really got any. I think he just talked about it essentially, that he's doing this. I don't think there really was anything. Yeah, there was some shown off. It kind of is Age of Empires ish mixed with Age of Mythology. So I think it's a little bit RTSy. So we'll see. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This looks fun. It looks like kind of it's got a vibe of Monty Python, Holy Grail to it. Like it's just kind of a comedic type game. So Little Nightmares 3 was also shown off. How I talked about earlier with Reanimal. This looks fun too. Maybe I'll give this a try. We'll see. Squid Game Unleashed. I think they're already late. Squid Games was super hype a couple years ago. And then obviously Mr. Beast trying to do his own Squid Games and whatnot. I really don't see this having any success whatsoever. Dark and Darker Mobile. I'm, hats off if you want to play an actual game on a phone. So, another one big that was shown off was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It is coming December 9th to PC and Xbox, and then PS5 in spring of next year. I think Xbox is now, or Microsoft is really leaning into how they want everybody to play their games. So I don't think PlayStation will ever step off of exclusive deals. Like they may start releasing games earlier and earlier on PC, which is great to the audience, but they probably won't release exclusive things to Xbox itself. So, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, they got to compete in some fashion just because, like, hands down, Game Pass is the best subscription model that there is and probably ever will be. And that's what sells Xbox games. But, if you got a PC, then why I get an Xbox. So I, you know, I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan to begin with, and this looks good. However, I'm just not sure what you can really do in an Indiana Jones game besides shoot them with a 6-shooter and whip them a few times. So, you know. There was a teaser of Mafia: The Old Country coming maybe next year or something. I never played the Mafia games. I did play the Godfather game like early 2000s, and it was fun. You could kill gangsters in game over and over and over, but at the same time, it's like, what do we do next? I don't think they tried to be GTA in a sense, but it obviously can't compete. So we'll see. Next up we got the first Berserker Kazan. This looks really neat. The art style looks great. Next up, we got Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. It's the new expansion coming this year. So I think there's a new class coming with it. I'm sure it'll be great. It's Diablo. And then World of Warcraft, The War Within. I already talked about that with Donkey. It's already out, so hopefully people are liking it and stuff. So, and then last on this list, we got Unknown 9 Awakening. It's an adventure game which players venture into mysterious dimensions known as the Fold. Are they kind of copying from Shadow in the Bone? RIP to Shadow in the Bone or Shadow? Yeah, Shadow in the Bone. I don't know, whatever. From Netflix, y'all were douchebags for canceling that show. It was great. Could have continued to be great, but you cancel anything that doesn't have near perfect reviews. So thank you, Netflix, for that. Continue paying your $25 a month for no ads and your semi decent content. But yeah, we'll see about this unknown. But yeah, that's all that was shown supposedly opening night live at Gamescom. Like I said, there was a few other games that were shown and kind of reviewed and previewed and stuff the next few days after it, but I'm not going to go over any of those. I think that's kind of ending with summer, like the conventions of the summer, and we're moving into the fall and stuff. There's a lot of games coming up that are interesting, so we'll see. But yeah, gonna end it there. And once again, thank y'all for being patient and whatever. Just, like I said, we're not a consistent podcast at all, but we're just here to maybe do an episode every so often whenever we can. If I'm feeling up to it, and if they're willing to join me, they certainly can. But if not, then I'll try to do some episodes. Next week there was a Nintendo Direct. I need to rewatch it because I didn't watch it at all. So might do an episode on it. If not, I don't know what we'll talk about next week, if or whenever. So, but thank you again. Like I said, we're 2 years into this podcast, still trying to do it, keep it afloat and stuff like that. Give us feedback, whether we suck or not, doesn't matter. Just continue to listen, honestly. And, shout out to the little man being a year old. We out here, boy. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. And like I said, thank you for listening. And as always, remember, you can continue to believe us if you don't. Peace.